Hey, what's going on? What's going on? Welcome back for another one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the videos. DZON. We're gonna talk about DZON today, and kind of trying to figure out what exactly is going on with them, what their plans are, and what exactly they're trying to do. Um, I think one of the major issues that's hindering them right now is content. You know what I mean? Like the other channels, when you look like at a Showtime, when you look at like an ESPN, when you look at a Fox, they have other things going on. They have other content that they consistently show every day that people are interested in. That brings in obviously millions upon millions of views on a daily basis. You know what I mean? Millions upon millions of views on a daily basis. So because of that, they could kind of lay back and kind of chill and see what's happening with the boxing. Even somebody like an ESPN, they kind of put the UFC out there. The UFC kind of experimented with a couple of things, a couple of hiccups, and they got the ball rolling. They kind of forced Top Rank's hand where Top Rank had to do something because the UFC was doing their thing, the same network. So they're trying. They kind of putting in like the super low tier shows, and then they're having other shows that are going to be outside of the country. And then when it comes to the two main fighters, in Lomachenko and in Terrence Crawford, and trying to see about getting things done at the end of the year, and maybe a Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder probably next year, just due to the fact that they really want to have a crowd for that fight, because you're looking at a $10+ million gate, and they're not trying to lose that money. So they're trying to see what they can do, kind of wait things out a little bit and see what they can do when it comes to that particular fight. When it comes to somebody like a Fox, you see Fox kind of set back, they kind of chilled. PBC, relax. Let everybody kind of make the mistakes. They weren't trying to be first, but one of the things that they were doing was getting all the fights in the background negotiated and done. That was kind of like their main things. And they're kind of obviously seeing what different venues and what different places that they can have these events. But their number one thing was getting these events done. And they were able to get a lot of major events done. You know what I'm saying? Rosario versus Charlo. What's his name? Derevyanchenko versus Charlo. You got Earl Spence versus Danny Garcia. Some major fights done. Sean Porter's fighting on Fox. It looks as if Manny Pacquiao's probably going to be fighting on Fox. Should be having an announcement soon as far as Adrian Broner coming back as well. And also like a lot of the mid-tier fights and lower tier fights that are going to be televised. Got a lot of those done too. And they were able to announce a substantial amount of them all at the same time. And the next couple of months, it's just going to be kind of like, from week to week to week to week to week, kind of just banging it out. So all the business side of things, they were able to get that done. We still got to see what's happening with Manny Pacquiao and Mikey Garcia. I know they're negotiating that. And, other fights that are also going to be announced. As for Keith Thurman might also be coming back. We have to see with him, We have to see with him as well. But they were able to get all of that stuff done, right? All the business. So when it was time to put things out, content out, the ball could just be rolling. But when it comes to DZON, it seems as if it's been very difficult and very tough for them to do the same type of thing. In the last couple of months, even though they had the same amount of time, as PBC, they haven't been able to really lock down all the major bouts, especially the ones that are going to be happening in the United States or that pertain to the United States fighters. When it comes to someone like Canelo Alvarez, your biggest star, you want him fighting twice a year, big time events, and it seems they haven't been able to get that done. They want him to take a pay cut. They don't know if he doesn't know if he even wants to fight without a crowd. They've been having a hard time landing down an opponent. I guess before the prices that they're willing to pay people prior to the pandemic. Now that that's everything's been going on, they're trying to have everybody they try to give them huge cuts, and they're like, nah, we're not fighting for that. We want what you offered us before, or something close to that, not this BS that you're offering us now. But they haven't been able to lock that down. Then when it comes to even the other fighters like Ryan Garcia, they haven't been able to lock that fight down. They're talking about negotiations. They're talking about doing purse bids. They don't have that locked down. Someone like a Devin Haney, you're supposed to be negotiating with Gamboa. Why in the world would it take this long to negotiate with someone like a Gamboa? It doesn't make any sense. And due to the fact that someone like Fortuna, Linares just got hurt, why can't you maybe get something done with a Fortuna, or maybe you give Linares some step aside money, because I don't know what that contract is. They might be able to. He might have in the contract that, nah, you have to wait for me to get better, and then us still fight later on. I'm not sure, but maybe something can be done with that. You know, maybe something can be done with that. I don't know, but another one of their big stars in Devin Haney, they haven't got that done yet. You know, Tevin Farmer versus Diaz. That's a big fight. You know, that was a big, huge upset that they had. Rematch. You know, something that Americans would be interested in, especially the Mexican community, the black community. That'd be a big, huge fight, you know, to have. But that's not done either. Demetrius Andres, another fighter, American fighter. Seems, who knows what's going on with that? You know, they had the Jake Paul, the Paul brothers or whatever, had them fight on DZON before. Now one of them's fighting, not on DZON, but they're fighting on the undercard for the Mike Tyson fight, you know, on that app or whatever that they're using. You know, and I'm not sure what the plan is or what exactly they're deciding to do, but one thing I do know that they need is they need content, because they're not these other channels who have an absorbent, abundant amount of other things that they can put on their network that will bring people in to watch. These other networks get millions upon tens of millions of views every single day. So they're good. You know, they're able to adjust, do the things that they need to do to adjust, even if come to the basketball, whatever, miss games, football, they're able to still make adjustments and be fine. They have catalogs that go back decades. So they're fine. They have plenty of things to put on their networks. DZON doesn't have that. And because DZON doesn't have that, they need to really have that urgency. They really need to push to get all these fights done, so they can have something there that the fans will be interested in, something that the fans will want to see, something that'll draw them back in. You know, PBC is already drawing them back in with that lower tier fighters. You know, Delorme fighting against whatever the hell his name was for their title the other day. They had fights all night from regular Fox. They had fights on regular Fox, and then from regular Fox they went straight into, you know, Fox FX1, and they had even more fights. For hours they had fights, you know, and it's going to be almost like and before that they had it on Showtime. They had their Showtime bouts, and every week it's just going to be, they're going to keep clicking on, and putting out that, you know, that content, putting out that boxing content, you know. And DZON needs to really get on the ball when it comes to this. They need to really pressure these guys to get all these deals done, because the longer it takes for them to get these deals done, the longer they're going to suffer. They're already suffering. They're going to continue to suffer, but it's just going to be worse if they can't get these deals done. You know, and it doesn't help that a lot of these people that are not able to get these deals done are the ones who keep consistently talking about other people, other networks, other promoters, other fighters that aren't their fighters, and what they should be doing and what they should be setting up, and, you know, what they believe about the content that's being put out by those promoters. Yet you can't put out any major content that anybody wants to see, period. You know, so, you know, hopefully DZON figures out a way to put a match under these people. They can get all that done, and they can start putting out some content that'll draw people back to watching that platform, because it's going to be tough for them. You know, you got Amazon that's now looking into putting in live sports. They're starting to get into that, starting to make few purchases. You know, and you're talking about an entity that's just known. You know, ESPN already has a substantial amount of people when it comes to their app, ESPN Plus. Disney has a substantial amount of people when it comes to the app. They got more people than that goddamn, I think as much if not more people than Netflix already. You know? And now you have somebody that's an entity that's known, that's powerful, that can get their name is already out there, that could be coming directly for your juggler, taking what you tried to do and shooting it to a whole different level. And they clearly, we all know, they have the capability of doing so. So, time to get on the ball. We'll see what they do in the next couple of months. But for now, like, subscribe, share. I'm out.